Okay. Hey everyone. I wanted to do a demonstration about astrology, make an astrology video, and this is a sample reading of my chart. I offer astrology readings, and I just want to show you guys a sample of what I would be offering. Now, I actually have studied nine star key or nine key astrology for many years, about 20 years, even longer really, but roughly 20 years. And then in the last number of years, I've gotten into Western astrology. So I combine two of these. And I also know a bit about uh, Chinese astrology, the animals. So I combine a different plethora of astrological information in my readings. So I'll just start here, and maybe you guys will find this interesting. I get to talk about me, so all right. So this is my natal birth chart. I was born June 5th, 1976, and I just want to say, like, some people are very protective of their birth charts. They don't want to share it. I'm not. I don't care. You know, nobody's going to do any. Some people say, like, oh, so if you share your birth chart, people can use it against you. I have karma on my side. I have angels protecting me. Nobody's going to hurt me. Like, I'm not scared of anything. Try me. I don't care. You can't hurt me. So anyway, I'm a Gemini sun, conjunct Venus, 1511. That's 1156. That's within 4 degrees. That's pretty close. It's in the 8th house. So what's Gemini sun about? Gemini's air. It's mutable. Air signs are very intellectual and airy. Mutable means changeable, adaptable. And Venus is the planet of romance, of fun, of leisure activities, of joy. So people with their sun conjunct Venus are very, if you get to know them, they're very soft. They're very touchy-feely, loving, affectionate, and can be very charming and very sweet. So this is one side of me. And Venus in Gemini is like a social butterfly, very flirty. Geminis change a lot. They're not stable. Gemini is not the most stable sign, if you know anything about Gemini. Geminis are mutable air. They're like the moving, they're like a breeze. They just blow this way and that way. And Geminis have a hard time committing. But 8th house is about depth because it's Scorpio's house. So this is an interesting place for this combination. Sun in the 8th house is like the sun inside a cave almost, if you will. It's illuminating secrets. This is the house of secrets. This is the water house. This is actually a psychic placement right here because this Gemini is all about communication, speaking and writing and thinking and intellectual. And 8th house is the house of Scorpio. It's the house of secrets. It's the house of the occult, really. So a lot of people may not know this about me, but I do have some strong psychic abilities. And I can and have communicated with ghosts. I've had true dreams. I've had lots of psychic activity here. You'll see this in people with strong psychic abilities, but they usually have more. They'll have like 8th house, 12th house, and 4th house together, and all water. This is air, so it's Gemini. Gemini's the sign of communication. So this means communicating secrets. So this is why I have a very intuitive understanding of astrology and occult knowledge and that type of stuff. and I can share it with you guys, because Sun in the 8th house goes into the depths of the secrets and illuminates it, brings it out, shines it out. And this also relates to my ascendant here, Scorpio ascendant, with a conjunct Uranus. Now, this is a very intense placement and North Node. Oops. What do you do? Okay, here we go. People find me intense. I am intense. I've always been told I was intense. And this goes against this. This is a polarity, because Sun conjunct Venus is very soft and warm and affectionate, which I am. But on the outside, I'm very intense. And so people don't often get to see my soft side. Women do, because this Venus is a feminine planet, and Sun conjunct Venus, especially for men, they love women. I mean, this is such a flirty combination, and I'll get to, I have some contradictory positions here going on. So it's like, I got different sides going on, and Gemini is so changeable, mutable, like I can appear so many different ways. But here we have ascendant conjunct Uranus. I'm jumping around a bit, but I'll pull it all together. So Uranus is the planet of shocks, and it's the great awakener, as they say. And if you know me, I like to say shocking things. I like to post shocking things on Facebook. I like to be kind of shocking. I like to be like really kind of intense. And Uranus is exalted in Scorpio. That's 1976. That's the time where punk rock was born. So like, this is like a symbol. One of the this is a punk rock combination. So if you think about like the punks, they had this. The Uranus rules Aquarius. It's the rebel. This is the rebellious planet. Totally unique. Totally doing its own thing. Totally independent, and like Uranus has like lightning, like bolts of insight, like shocks, shocking change, shocking. That's why it's the Great Awakener. It's pow, wakes you the fuck up. And here's North Node. North Node is destiny, obsession, and comes alive more with age. So this is the first house, the house of the self. People with North Node in the first house can become extremely self-obsessed. That's the lower side. It could be like very egocentric, self-centered, not caring about anyone else, only themselves. The higher aspect of this, because all these planets have lower and higher aspects, all these combinations and signs. And as we grow and mature, we can reach the higher aspect of these. The higher aspect of this is self-mastery, because this is the self right here, the first house. This is the body, this is the head, but it's also the self, the conscious self. This is the point of the ascendant, the rising, the Eastern. When you were born, when I was born, this was the Eastern horizon. So these were rising. This was the rising sign. Scorpio, the horizon was in Scorpio, and Uranus and North Node of the moon, destiny, future, obsession, was on the rising. So this is actually a really strong placement, not an easy one. Scorpio rising is not easy. It's one of the hardest ascendants to have. If you know about astrology, Scorpio ascendants are on the surface so intimidating, so scary, and so like harsh. They got a lot of times they have beautiful eyes, because the ascendant affects the way you appear, but so intense. Scorpio rising is so scary. Underneath, they can be different. Like I said, like I'm very affectionate, I'm very loving and caring, because I got the Sun conjunct Venus. That makes me very like heart oriented. And I am. I mean, if I'm with a woman or if I'm with my son, I mean, I can be very, very warm and affectionate and loving. But on the surface, I'm really intense. I mean, a lot of people will never see that side of me, because they'll never get that close. But North Node in the first can be the sign of the person who masters themselves. masters their body, masters their whole being. So self-mastery. And with Uranus here, this is the point of realization, this ascendant line, because the 12th house is the house of the unconscious, the subconscious. This is our subconscious mind right here it's in Libra. And here is the point where it becomes conscious, this AC, this line. And here's Uranus. So Uranus is strongly deals with insights. So this is like very strongly realization, bring very strong realizations into my mind. So I get these really intense, like awakening realizations at times, like, wow, I see, I understand. And it's strong in Scorpio. So my moon is in Virgo, 11th house. So that is another thing that is kind of cold and hard. Moon and Virgos are so critical. If you know me, I can just be endlessly critical. I criticize everyone, including myself. And it's a cold, it can be very cold and unfeeling. Like Virgo's not unfeeling, uncaring, but it can appear that way because it's mutable earth. It's opposite Pisces. So if you understand this axis, Virgo is the sign that is the most organized, the most critical, the most material. It's the sign of the material healer, because Pisces is the spiritual healer. Virgo is the material healer. So Virgo is very concerned with health and perfection and order and cleanliness, and they're critical because they see so clearly the dividing lines between truth and falsehood, logic, order. Virgo moons are so sharp versus Pisces, which Pisces is the sign of the subconscious, the dream, the spirit world. So Pisces is like, and it's also a water sign. So it's like swimming in the ocean where you have everything, but there's no differentiation. Like Pisces are so creative and so spiritual and so psychic, but they don't know what's true and what's illusion. So Pisces can be completely deluded, but they can also have access to the most sublime truths. So they don't know what's true and what's false. Virgo, the opposite sign, is the great divider. Like you put a Pisces and a Virgo together, Pisces will put out this whole big thing, which is full of truth and illusion and delusion. And Virgo will be like, well, that's bullshit. That's true. That's a lie. That's, we got to separate this and that. They'll organize it all for Pisces. Pisces won't be able to organize it. Pisces is the artist. Pisces is creative. Pisces is spiritual. Pisces is psychic. Virgo is the surgeon. Virgo is going to divide it and organize it and criticize it and put it all in place. So that's a very intellectual combination. And it's also ruled by Mercury. My Sun and Venus ruled by Mercury. Gemini is ruled by Mercury. So I have very strong mercurial mind going on, which also relates to Uranus, because Uranus, they say, some people say, is like the higher dimension of Mercury, because it can also be relating to the intellect. It's different because Mercury is the planet closest to the sun, so it moves the fastest. So Gemini especially, but also Virgo, so fast thinking, and they move through things so quickly, much quicker than other signs. Like people hate Gemini because Gemini will come to a conclusion faster than any other sign. Like if you date a Gemini will discover that the relationship is not going anywhere, and they'll break up with you while you're still trying to figure it out. You're like, whoa, what happened? What? Oh, Gemini, well, I thought we were having something going on. Gemini's like, nah, it's not. Look, I already been through the whole relationship, and while you were sleeping, and I've already figured it out. We're not right for each other, so bye. And Gemini's cold like that. Like Gemini was like, bam, I'm done. Virgo has something similar going on. and I got the sun and the moon. These are, you know, really strong personal influences, and Venus. So, I mean, if you know me, I can just burn through things really quickly and I can change. And people are like, you change too quick. You don't stick, you don't stay. I'm sorry, I cycle through things. It's not that I just drop things and change things like that. Yeah, I mean, you know, it can appear that way, and I can understand why people think that, but it's just that I cycle through things a lot quicker. I'm very quick-minded, and I can realize something very quickly. I can start something and be like, okay, this is not for me. It doesn't take me that long to figure it out, and I'm on to the next thing. Okay, so that's why I move through things, but it's a progression. It's a spiral. The spirals they don't change. It's not like I'm just moving one thing to the next. Not, there's no order to it. There's an order. It's a growth. It's just, I have a lot of steps, right? So I move through things very quickly, and each time I come to something new, it's another step. I'm growing. I'm evolving. You may not see it, but frankly, I can't, you know, I can't help people who don't understand the way I move. I move quickly. All right. So, and Uranus here, because of its shocking change, it adds to that. Like, it just makes me even more changeable in quick sense. When I change, bam, I change, right? And Scorpio is changing, but in a much deeper way, because here we have Scorpio ascendant ruled by Pluto on the 12th house cusp. You know, this is my chart ruler on the 12th house cusp. And 8th house. This is Scorpio's house. So I am very scorpionic, which helps with my mercurial nature. It gives me a lot of depth. So I have, like, Mercury is the fastest planet. It's also can be superficial, especially Sun conjunct Venus in Gemini. If this were in another house, like 7th house or 5th house or 3rd house, you know, it would be much different. But because it's 8th house and I have Scorpio ascendant, that has a lot of depth. So I have depth, guys. It's just, I have both sides, and it's just, the depth comes in time. As I grow older and older, I become deeper and deeper, because that happens with anyone. Right. So, also, this aspect, this is Neptune. It's directly opposite my Venus, and it's influencing my sun too. So this is another psychic aspect, but it's also can represent creativity, dreams, and delusions. Because remember, I was talking about Pisces. Neptune rules Pisces. That has a very similar flavor, and this opposition strongly influences my sun and Venus. So anyone who has strong water influence have to be careful of drugs and alcohol. Anything that dilutes the mind, that expands the mind. The tendency, a lot of times, for people that have these strong water placements is to get lost in drugs and alcohol at times. But it's the worst thing for them, right? So for me, if I do drink too much, or, you know, indulge in other things, it can make me delusional. It can make me lose my focus. And here, Venus too. Venus conjunct the sun. That's weakening the sun potentially, right? Because Venus is romance, leisure, pleasure, joy, fun, and Neptune is escapism, dreams. And if there's alcohol or other substances involved, it can totally drain all the energy from the sun. Sun's ego, sun's the center. So, I mean, I have to be careful, because it's also 8th house. My Scorpio ascendant, my Pluto is, Pluto's water ruling Scorpio. It's on the verge of it's on the 12th house cusp. So that, again, I can drown. I can get lost if I'm not careful. So for me, it's best to keep strong focused head. And I have other things that help me with that. So I can go either way. It's about a choice, a decision. And knowing astrology helps tremendously, especially because North Node in the 1st house The best thing for anyone with North Node in the first house is to know thyself in all the ways you can know thyself. So North Node uh, in the first, it definitely people with North Node in the first should study astrology. One of the things. All right. So this is a creative aspect, and I went to art school, so I do have some creativity. It doesn't necessarily mean I'm an artist. Like people try to push me into, you're an artist, you should do art. Like, go fuck yourself. Like seriously, stop telling me what to do, because I have Uranus in right conjunct the ascendant, and I'm super independent. And if you tell me what to do, I will just cut you out of my life and never speak to you again. So don't even try it, because frankly, it's none of your business, and you can't understand me anyway. Like, I don't care who you are. You're not going to. So just, you're gonna have to leave me alone. And believe me, I understand myself better than you. So, and it's arrogant. Like when people try and tell each other what to do, like that's just arrogant anyway. It really is. Like nobody should push other people to do what they think is best for them. We have to let people decide for themselves. All right. Here we have South Node conjunct Jupiter in Taurus and Mercury in Taurus. This is the house of the seventh house. This is the house of others. South Node is the past. South Node is what we karmically came in this life with. It's what we've already mastered. Jupiter is the teacher. Jupiter is the guru. So here's my chance to sell myself. I really don't like to sell myself, because Virgo moon doesn't want to sell itself. Virgo moon wants to, Virgo moon is kind of limiting, but I have other things that, because, North Node in the first house, South Node conjunct Jupiter in the seventh house in Taurus. I am a natural teacher. I mean, this is being objective. I'm being purely objective. And I don't like to say that again, because Virgo moon is very kind of repressive and limiting and self-effacing. But Jupiter is the teacher. And Taurus deals with the material things in life, the practicality, food, finance, security. It likes to hoard or own pleasure and comfort and material. It's a very earthy sign. But it's a great sign for a teacher, because Taurus, although slow and steady, is also very simple. So why is Taurus a good teacher? Because they can take very complex ideas and make them very simple, the most simple, in fact. And you see oftentimes people with strong Taurus positions are great teachers. They're not dumb at all. They can take the most biggest ideas and make them really simple so that everyone can understand them, right? Very practical, sensorial. Taurus relates to the voice, so it's good for speaking, good for singing. Even people with strong Taurus can be singers. And I did sing in a band when I was younger. I don't have other. I mean, I'm not. It's just one aspect. So there's many aspects, but South Node means South Node is what we came in with. South Node is mastery. So South Node conjunct Jupiter is, especially here in Taurus, I'm a natural teacher. I have some things to overcome. My Virgo moon is limiting, and Saturn in the ninth house definitely delays things. I'll get to that in a minute. But Mercury here too. Mercury is the intellect, and Mercury is speaking, and Mercury is writing. And here in the seventh house in Taurus, so with others, naturally I can speak to other people. And when I have one-on-one interactions, counseling, whatnot, it comes through. Like it's just very natural for me. I can do it. Where you might not notice, I had a lot of anxiety up until recently. That was dealing with a lot of trauma that I faced in childhood. Eighth house deals with crises. That's Scorpio influence. This strong Scorpio influence that I had to overcome, and I did. You know, when I was 10, I faced severe trauma with my brother was hit by a train and died, and then my girlfriend, best friend died, and you can see that here because Venus rules Taurus, Mercury rules Gemini, so there's a mutual reception here, and this is what's called the final dispositor. It's where all the energy culminates. It culminates in a mutual reception between Mercury and Venus. This is the house of others. So like partnerships are seen here. And here is um, sex and intimacy. And it's also the house of death. So we have Mercury and Venus tied together. So there's some partnership going into death here. And that actually happened to me with my brother and then Mary. So we were very close. She was my best friend. She was my girlfriend. She left me before she died. Fortunately, I didn't know, didn't feel fortunate at the time, but you know, we weren't together when she died, but she died, and that's here. Eighth house is crisis. If you have a lot of planets in the eighth house or strong Scorpio placements in general, people with the Scorpio eighth house, Pluto energy, they're going to face crisis in their life. Death, personal death, death of the ego, and actual physical death, death of loved ones. I mean, Sun conjunct Venus in the eighth house signifies death of love, death of romance. So that's another aspect here. And here, when here's something, I mean, because Mercury is tied to Venus here, the seventh and eighth house, partnerships and intimacy, it's easy for people feel very close. Like if I get close to someone, it's easy to get really close. And that's what it's hard. Like, you don't always want to get too close to people, but for me, it's like, it's just a magnetism. If somebody gets close to me, they get really close. And that's why I push a lot of people away, because I don't want to get close to them, because if I get too close, if I get close, I get too close. So I'm being very open and vulnerable because I don't care. Nobody can hurt me anyway, so it doesn't matter. All right, this here we have a very strong combination. Saturn in the ninth, it's actually 10th house, whole house, if you do it by whole sign. This is the MC, this is the public, this is where the public, this is the height, where the sun is at the zenith, the highest point. So this is the public image, the public arena, the career, in somebody's life. This is where they'll focus all their public energy on. And I have Saturn and Mars, both masculine, both very strong. Saturn deals with time and restrictions and limitations and structure and order. It's the taskmaster. It'll make you work your ass off. And Mars is the soldier, the passion, the aggression, the physical will, Mars is the young masculine force, and Leo. I mean, this is a very strong combination. I'm not trying to brag. It just is. Leo's the king. Leo's the sun, ruled by the sun. So here's the thing, like, with an eighth house sun or Scorpio energy, it starts out weak and then gets stronger and stronger. So, and the planets themselves also take time to develop. So when I was younger, with a lot of all this water energy, Scorpio ascendant, eighth house sun, I appeared much weaker than I inevitably eventually was and will be. And so I let myself be, especially with Virgo moon, it's very easy for people and myself to put myself last and to put myself on the bottom and to put myself down, because that's the nature of water. But as that happened, the king, Mars and the king and Saturn and the king, these two um, became activating. They said, that's not right. You know, how dare you disrespect me? How dare I disrespect me? I mean, I was mad at myself. I was mad at everyone else. I was mad at the whole world because I let myself be disrespected. And this is Leo's the goddamn king. Leo's ruled by the sun. Mars is the soldier. Saturn, these two together. I mean, this is not a close conjunction, but they're so intense. If anyone knows about astrology, Mars and Saturn, they don't need to be that close. If they're really close, it's just too intense. I mean, really too intense. Mars and Saturn here, this is a good distance. And in Leo, Leo's the king. You cannot disrespect Leo, and you cannot disrespect Mars in Leo, and you cannot disrespect Saturn in Leo, and you cannot disrespect this combination close to the MC. This is Mars conjunct the MC is a very powerful combination. This combination is great for focus. This combination is great for willpower, for putting tremendous effort into growth and especially public career. And as I get older, because Saturn deals with time, Saturn does not bring early success. Saturn, wherever Saturn is, there's delays, and this is MC, so this is my public life. So this indicates success in the second half of my life. Well, and anyone who knows me, I really had trouble finding myself up till now, and still do to a large degree. But at least I know, I'm aware, right, self-aware of my path, my direction, at least through astrology right now. I'm aware that this is a limitation, and so that I have to keep working. Saturn opens up as you work. You have to work your ass off for Saturn. And if you put in enough energy, Saturn opens up and Saturn delivers, and Saturn brings long-term success wherever it is. It's in the ninth house, but it's approaching the MC. So the ninth house deals with higher learning, with philosophy, with like this would be the house of graduate school or college or higher education. So we learn about, you know, these higher things, also philosophy and religion in here. And then we use that for our career, for our public image. See, this is the order of things. So it's approaching this. So it's very high up there. And then it's connecting with Mars. These two together, like I said, bring great focus. And Leo's creative. So if you know me, then you know that I used to do these drawings that were very detailed and very accurate. And that's Mars and Saturn. And I have a friend who was born one day before me. He makes these amazing art pieces that are replicas. Like he'll take a can or a plastic cup or a paper cup, and he'll replicate it and it'll look exactly like it, but it's made of paper and paint. It's just, that's Mars and Saturn. Mars and Saturn can be surgeons. They just together, they bring incredible focus. And it depends on the sign in the house, how it expresses itself. But there's tremendous focus there. That's the higher expression. The lower expression is just really intense. It can be cruelty. It can be cold-heartedness. It can be just like even violence. That's the lower expression. The higher expression is just a massive amount of focus. And anyone who has this combination has to work really hard, because if they don't work really hard, life is going to hit them really hard. So they have to put tremendous amount of pressure. So, I mean, like, we have to realize that everyone's different, and you know, we have all these different combinations, and some people need different things. Because look, if you didn't know my chart, you look at me and you just be like, you're so weird, you're so intense, you try too hard and you fail and you don't stick with anything. Well, guess what? You don't even know astrology. You don't even know these planets. You don't know the planets that are circling in our solar system. So don't even talk to me, because you're ignorant. Okay? Because I have a really intense chart, and I can't change that. That's the way I am. and I can have a higher expression of these things, which I do, and I will, and I am, and I'm working and growing and evolving. But we all have to try and understand each other better, because um, these planets are one of the, it's so influential. Um, I mean, this is a basic reading. I could keep going on into more depth, but I just wanted to show you guys how I do it. And I'd like to offer my services to anyone who wants it. Um, I can do quick readings, half hour, $20, or full hour for $40. And I didn't even go into Nanki. Well, I'm a 611, 6 metal. That, you know, that'll enhance some of these more intense qualities that I have going on here: Virgo moon, Scorpio ascendant, Mars, Saturn conjunct in Leo. And guys, I'm so proud. If you insult my pride, forget it. I'll never speak to you again. You know, but if you can understand me a little bit, then you know, that helps a lot. If you want to, or don't, I don't care. I really don't care. You know, you don't have to like me. I don't care. I like me. It's my job. So, and there it is. I mean, I know I'm pretty hard to understand for a lot of people, and I do strange things, and people are like, why is he the way he is? Well, this might give you a little insight into me if you're curious at all. Maybe you're not curious. Maybe you are. I don't know. One more thing. Here we have a very strong aspect. Chiron, square, Saturn, square, Uranus and ascendant. It's very intense. Chiron is our deepest pain, and it's conjunct my descendant pretty much on the 6th house side, but still. And it's really intensely square Saturn. Saturn's authority. And I do have trouble with authority. Like, if anyone tells me what to do, teachers, the law, I'm just like, and Uranus is the rebel. I will not only rebel, I have some deep hurts about it. So it like comes off very strongly. Like, and if you understand astrology, we actually live through these experiences in our early life, and I don't want to go into detail about it, but yeah, like I was hurt by authority figures in my life, by people older than me trying to tell me what to do, by pushing me around, by bullying me. And I absolutely rebelled. Uranus here. And I will not allow it. Like, nobody can tell me what to do. Like, I will not forgive you. I will not let you do it. And it makes me deeply hurt, and it makes me feel very violated and violent. And so, because Mars is here too, if you touch, like, anything that touches my Saturn is touching my Mars in Leo, the goddamn king. Okay, the goddamn king at the height of the chart. Like, no, you cannot. And I let that happen when I was younger, and it's never going to happen again. Okay, and I don't care. I can be ruthless. I will cut you out of my life, but do not tell me what to do. Okay, so Chiron, deepest pain; Saturn, authority, structure, ruler; Uranus, rebellion. That's a pretty intense aspect here. Another a strong aspect here is Moon in Virgo, trine Jupiter and Mercury. Okay, it's not a tight trine, but it's still there. It's right in between the two. And Moon is exalted in Taurus, but Mercury is exalted in Virgo. So this is a mutual reception that in time they learn from one another. So this is like two friends, two people in a family, because they're aspecting each other. The trine is a really nice harmonious aspect. They're like, the moon learns about something that can greatly benefit Mercury especially, and Mercury learns something that can greatly benefit the moon, and in time they relay that message to one another. So moon learns from Mercury, Mercury learns from moon, they both get strengthened. Mercury is exalted in Virgo, moon is exalted in Taurus. and Moon aspecting Jupiter is a really strong combination. So that, again, I can bring, this brings great stability to my Moon, and this brings great kind of strength to my Mercury, my intellect. And because it's in the 7th house, that's why I can share that with you guys. And also, guys, Taurus is the most stubborn sign because it's fixed Earth. So if you know me, I have Mercury and Jupiter and South Node and Pallas. Pallas is a minor asteroid, but in South in the 7th house, like, don't try and change my mind, because Mercury and Jupiter, especially South Node here in Taurus, you're not gonna, it's a losing battle, and it's just annoying. Like, just stop. Like, you will not ever change my mind, because it's just the nature. I'm not being egotistical. It's the nature of Taurus. You cannot move Taurus if Taurus doesn't want to move. And the more you try and move Taurus, the more annoyed it gets. Taurus has endless patience, but it's like trying to move a mountain or move a bull that doesn't want to move. Like, leave it alone. Like, do not try to change Taurus. Taurus will beat you over the head with their opinion. Like, well, in this sense, because Mercury and Jupiter deal with the mind, the intellect. Mercury deals with the intellect. Jupiter deals with the higher mind. So you're just asking for trouble. So I mean, that's just a little tidbit. If you want to know how to deal with me, like, do not try to change my mind, because you just won't, and it'll just be a losing battle, and I'll just probably cut you off, and you'll annoy me, and I'll use my ascendant and my Uranus to smack you, not literally, but figuratively, and my Mars will get in there. Anyway, I think that's enough. And yeah, if you want me to do a reading for you, I'd be happy to do that. I'll include even some 9 key. I didn't even get into that. 611 is my 9 key. Metal, water, water. It adds to my deep thinking. It also makes me a bit insecure, but then I have like the fire going on here, which adds a lot of strength and outward confidence. Is very Mars and Leo, tremendously confident. Took me a while to get there, but yeah, it's there. And South Node conjunct Jupiter and Taurus, like, forget it, guys. Like, I'm confident. You don't have to worry about it. Like, I'm confident. I know what I know, and I know it. Okay, so that's it. All right. You get a reading. You'll enjoy it. Let me turn this off.